Hey everyone, and welcome to this deep dive all about nature's pharmacy.
That's right. We're diving into the world of herbal remedies.
Herbs for your health.
Exactly. And we're talking about how herbs can be used, not just as supplements,
Yeah.
but potentially as alternatives or complements to traditional medicine.
Definitely alternatives. And you might be surprised to learn that we're going to be uncovering how some pretty common herbs could target some pretty tricky things.
Yes.
Things like high cholesterol,
Absolutely.
diabetes,
Yeah.
even touch on cancer prevention.
We'll get into that for sure. And
Right.
even
Ready.
more than that, we're going to delve into herbs that could even boost your lifespan.
Oh, really? Okay.
And even, let's just say, spice up certain aspects of your life.
Okay, so
Wink, wink.
let's jump right in. Have you ever considered using herbs to manage something like high cholesterol or high blood pressure?
This is something that a lot of people don't realize they can actually turn to the power of plants for these conditions.
Yeah, for sure.
And we're talking about things like hawthorn,
Oh.
garlic, and turmeric.
Those are pretty common ones. I've definitely heard of those.
Mhm.
But what makes them so beneficial for heart health?
Well, let's start with hawthorn.
Okay.
Hawthorn is really good for strengthening and toning the heart muscle itself.
Oh, wow.
So that's going to lead to better circulation. And this can be especially beneficial for people with conditions like congestive heart failure, where the heart is really struggling to pump blood effectively.
So it's not just about helping blood flow, it's strengthening the actual heart.
Yeah, exactly.
That's really interesting. What about garlic?
So garlic is well known for its ability to help lower cholesterol levels in the blood.
Okay.
And of course, high cholesterol is a major risk factor for heart disease.
Right.
So by reducing those levels,
Yeah.
garlic can contribute to a healthier cardiovascular system.
And what about turmeric? I know it's really good for inflammation, but what does that have to do with heart health?
Well, that's a great question because inflammation actually plays a key role in many chronic diseases, including heart disease. When your arteries are inflamed, it's easier for plaque to build up.
Right.
And that can lead to blockages and increase the risk of heart attacks and strokes.
So turmeric is kind of protecting those arteries from that inflammation.
Yes, exactly.
Right.
By reducing that inflammation, it's helping to keep those arteries clear and healthy.
That's pretty amazing.
Yeah.
I've also heard that these herbs could be as effective as some medications. Is there any truth to that?
Well, there is growing scientific evidence
Okay.
to support the use of these herbs for heart health. So while more research is always needed, some studies have shown very promising results,
Wow.
suggesting that these herbs may be comparable in effectiveness to some conventional medications for specific heart conditions.
That's incredible. So something you can grow in your garden
I know.
could have such a powerful impact.
Yeah.
Speaking of chronic conditions, diabetes is another area where I've heard herbs can play a role. What can you tell us about that?
Absolutely. So herbs like bitter melon, cinnamon, and fenugreek are known to help regulate blood sugar levels. And of course, this is super important for managing diabetes.
So they can help people who already have diabetes.
Yes, but they can also be really helpful in preventing diabetes.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And that's because these herbs can improve something called insulin sensitivity.
Okay.
And insulin sensitivity is basically how well your body responds to insulin,
Right.
which is the hormone that regulates blood sugar.
So the herbs help your body use insulin more effectively.
Exactly.
Okay. That makes a lot of sense. I actually know someone who was able to get off their medication
Really?
entirely
Wow.
by just using these herbs and diet and exercise to manage their diabetes.
That's amazing. I love hearing those kinds of stories.
Yeah, me too.
Right.
Okay, now for a topic I think is on everyone's mind, cancer prevention.
Mhm.
Are there herbs that can actually help with that?
So while it's important to understand that no herb can guarantee cancer prevention,
Right.
there is research showing that some herbs possess properties that may contribute to a reduced risk of developing certain types of cancer. And some of these herbs include ashwagandha.
Yeah. Turmeric and green tea.
Okay, I've definitely heard of those. But what makes them potentially effective against cancer?
Well, each herb kind of has its own set of mechanisms.
Okay.
For example, ashwagandha is really great for helping the body adapt to stress.
Right.
And we know that chronic stress can weaken the immune system and potentially increase the risk of several diseases, including cancer.
So by managing stress, the ashwagandha could help reduce cancer risk.
Exactly. It's not a direct link, but it's supporting your body's overall ability to stay healthy.
Right. Okay, that's fascinating. What about turmeric?
So turmeric, or specifically its active compound, curcumin, is a potent anti-inflammatory and antioxidant.
Right.
And remember how we talked about inflammation being a key player in many chronic diseases?
Yeah.
Well, that applies to cancer as well.
So by reducing inflammation, the turmeric could help create an environment in the body that's less hospitable to cancer cells.
Exactly.
Okay. And green tea.
Green tea. So this one is packed with polyphenols, which are powerful antioxidants. I've heard of antioxidants, but I don't really understand how they work.
So basically, antioxidants protect your cells from damage caused by free radicals.
Okay.
Which are unstable molecules that can contribute to aging and various diseases, including cancer.
So drinking green tea by giving us those antioxidants could help protect our cells from damage that could lead to cancer.
Exactly.
Wow. It's amazing to think that something as simple as a cup of tea could have such a positive impact. And it's not just about prevention, right? These herbs could also be beneficial for people undergoing cancer treatment.
That's right. There's some research suggesting that these herbs may be helpful in managing the side effects of chemotherapy and radiation.
That's really encouraging. Okay, shifting gears a bit, let's talk about something many of us struggle with, inflammation and pain. I'm always on the lookout for natural ways to deal with those aches and pains. What does nature's pharmacy have to offer in that department?
So there are some powerful herbs with anti-inflammatory properties that can be very effective for pain relief. And some great examples of these are ginger, boswellia, and devil's claw.
Oh, ginger. I use that all the time.
I know, right?
In my cooking, I had no idea it had medicinal properties. How do these herbs actually work to reduce inflammation and pain?
So they work at the cellular level by blocking the pathways that lead to pain and swelling.
So they're actually addressing the root cause.
Exactly.
Rather than just covering it up.
Yeah, it's a much more targeted approach.
Right. That's really interesting. And for people who experience chronic pain, these herbs could really be a game changer.
Absolutely. They have that potential. And of course, as with any natural remedy, it's always best to consult with your doctor before incorporating these herbs into your routine, especially if you have any underlying health conditions or are taking medications.
Always good to be safe. Now, here's a question. What if you could naturally reduce your risk of a heart attack or a stroke?
It's a powerful thought, isn't it? And it's definitely something that we can take steps towards.
Okay.
So we already talked about hawthorn.
Right.
But it deserves another mention here. Because along with ginkgo biloba and cayenne pepper, these herbs can work wonders for your cardiovascular system.
I'm intrigued. How do they work?
So having strong blood vessels and good circulation is really important for preventing heart attacks and strokes.
Right.
And hawthorn, as we discussed, strengthens the heart muscle.
Okay.
Ginkgo biloba is known to improve blood flow to the brain.
Interesting.
Which is essential for good cognitive function and can help reduce the risk of stroke.
Okay.
And then cayenne pepper can help clear plaque buildup in the arteries.
So it's strengthening the heart, improving blood flow, and clearing out those arteries.
Exactly. It's a multi-pronged approach.
Yeah, it sounds like a powerful combination.
It is. And when you combine these herbs with a heart-healthy diet and regular exercise, you're really taking a holistic approach to protecting your cardiovascular system.
It's all about taking care of your whole body, not just relying on one thing. Okay, now let's shift gears to a topic I think everyone is interested in: longevity. What if you could live a longer, healthier life? Are there herbs that can actually contribute to that?
There are, and we're talking about adaptogenic herbs like ginseng, reishi mushroom, and astragalus.
Adaptogenic herbs. Those are new to me. What are those?
So adaptogens are pretty fascinating. They essentially help your body adapt to stress, which, as we've discussed, can have a really negative impact on your health.
Right.
Chronic stress can accelerate aging and contribute to various diseases. So adaptogens help your body build resilience to stress.
They're like stress buffers.
Exactly. They help you cope with life's challenges without experiencing those same negative effects.
I love that. And these particular herbs, ginseng, reishi mushroom, and astragalus, have been used in traditional medicine for centuries.
Yes.
To promote longevity and vitality.
That's right. They have a very long history of use.
It's amazing how ancient wisdom is now being backed up by modern science.
I know. It's really remarkable.
It seems like they were ahead of their time. Now, we've talked a lot about physical health, but sexual health is a big part of overall well-being, too. Are there any herbs in nature's pharmacy that can address that aspect of our lives?
There are indeed. Herbs like macatribulus and horny goatweed have a long history of use.
Okay, the names.
For enhancing libido and sexual function.
They definitely sound interesting. So what's the science behind their effectiveness?
Well, each herb has its own unique mechanisms, but some are believed to work by balancing hormone levels.
Okay.
For example, maca, which is a root vegetable, is thought to help regulate hormones like estrogen and testosterone,
Right.
which can impact libido. And then other herbs like tribulus may enhance sexual function by increasing blood flow.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay, moving on to a topic that's always relevant, especially with cold and flu season. Upon us, immune support. What are some herbs that can help us stay healthy and fight off those pesky bugs?
Well, we've got some powerhouses in this category.
Okay.
Echinacea, elderberry, and astragalus are all great for boosting your immune system.
I've heard of those, but how do they actually work?
They each have their own unique way of supporting the immune system.
Oh.
So echinacea, for example, is known to activate certain immune cells, making them more effective at fighting off infections.
Oh, wow.
Elderberry is packed with antioxidants, which we discussed earlier.
Right.
And those can help protect your cells from damage caused by viruses.
Okay.
And astragalus works a little differently. It helps to balance the immune response so it's working effectively without overreacting.
So it's not just about boosting the immune system. It's about making sure it's functioning optimally.
Exactly. And, we often reach for over-the-counter medications when we feel a cold coming on.
Right.
But it's worth considering the potential side effects of those drugs.
That's a great point. We don't think twice about popping a pill, but what are we actually putting in our bodies?
Yeah, a lot of medications, even over-the-counter ones, can have side effects from liver damage to fatigue.
Wow.
And in some cases, there's even a risk of dependency.
That's scary. I like herbal remedies because they offer a gentler, more natural approach.
Definitely herbs work with your body's natural processes rather than suppressing symptoms or disrupting them. And they often have fewer side effects and can be a great complement to conventional treatments.
It's like tapping into the wisdom of our ancestors.
Absolutely.
Who relied on plants for their health.
Yeah.
For centuries. And for those of us who aren't lucky enough to have a wise grandmother with herbal secrets, where can we find good quality herbal remedies these days?
That's a great question. So you want to look for stores that specialize in herbal medicine, check for certifications, ask about ingredient sourcing, and do your research online to see what other customers are saying.
That's a good tip. And don't forget about local herbalists.
Yes.
Or farmers markets.
Absolutely.
You can often find fresh, potent herbs there.
And it's a great way to support your local community.
That's a great point.
Yeah.
Okay, we've covered a lot of ground in this deep dive. What are some of the key takeaways you'd like our listener to remember?
I think the most important thing to remember is that nature provides an incredible array of tools to support our health and well-being.
Yeah.
These herbs can be powerful allies in preventing and managing a wide range of conditions.
Right.
From heart disease to diabetes to cancer and beyond.
And they offer a gentler, more natural approach to healing that could really complement conventional medicine.
Exactly. It's about finding that balance for your individual needs.
And remember, knowledge is power. The more you learn about these herbs, the better equipped you'll be to make informed decisions about your health.
Absolutely.
Well, this has been an incredible journey through nature's pharmacy. I'm already feeling inspired to incorporate more of these herbs into my life. I hope our listeners are feeling the same way.
Me too. It's really exciting to think about the possibilities.
We'll be back in a moment to explore some more fascinating aspects of this topic, so stay tuned. Welcome back. I don't know about you, but my head is spinning.
I know, right?
With all this amazing information about the power of herbs, it's incredible to think that these plants we see every day.
Right, in our gardens.
Yeah, could have such a huge impact on our health.
It's really amazing, isn't it? Just nature providing us with all these tools.
And to think we've only just scratched the surface of what we know about them.
Yeah, absolutely. There's so much more to discover.
Before we move on, I think it'd be good to do a quick recap of what we've learned so far.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Let's summarize.
What stands out to you as the most important points?
Okay, well, we started by talking about heart health.
Right.
And we highlighted a few key herbs like hawthorn for its ability to strengthen that heart muscle and improve circulation.
Yeah.
We talked to garlic for its cholesterol-lowering effects.
Right.
And, of course, turmeric for its powerful anti-inflammatory action.
And I think what was really interesting to me was the fact that in some cases, these herbs could actually be as effective as some medications.
I know, it's pretty mind-blowing, right?
Yeah, for those specific heart conditions.
Yeah, it really opens up a lot of possibilities for people.
It really does. Then we moved on to diabetes, and we learned that herbs like bitter melon cinnamon and fenugreek can help regulate blood sugar levels.
Yep. And not only manage existing diabetes, but potentially prevent it.
Yeah.
By improving insulin sensitivity.
I thought that was really cool, the concept of insulin sensitivity and how these herbs could help our bodies use insulin more effectively.
Yeah, like teaching our bodies to work better.
Yeah, and remember that story about the person who was able to manage their diabetes with herbs, diet, and exercise and get off their medication?
Oh, yeah. That was so inspiring.
It just goes to show you the power of taking a holistic approach.
Exactly.
Then we talked about cancer prevention.
Oh, yes, a very important topic.
A big one. And how herbs like ashwagandha, turmeric, and green tea could play a role in reducing that risk.
Right. So ashwagandha for stress management.
Yeah.
Which we know can contribute to all sorts of health problems, including cancer,
Right.
turmeric with its anti-inflammatory and antioxidant properties, creating that environment in the body that's less friendly to cancer cells.
Yeah. And green tea, which is full of those antioxidants.
Yeah, all those polyphenols.
Protecting our cells from damage.
It's amazing to think that just drinking green tea could have that kind of impact.
I know, such a simple thing.
Yeah, and it's not just about prevention. These herbs may also be beneficial for people who are undergoing cancer treatment.
That's right. Potentially helping with those side effects and improving their quality of life during treatment.
That's really good to know. Then we shifted gears and talked about inflammation and pain.
Yes, because who doesn't experience those from time to time?
All the time.
Right.
Those aches and pains. And fortunately, Nature's Pharmacy has solutions for that, too.
Yeah, ginger boswellia and devil's claw are great examples.
Blocking those pain pathways at the cellular level, I thought that was so cool.
Yeah, they really get to the root of the problem
Yeah.
and can be so helpful for people with chronic pain.
Then we talked about reducing the risk of heart attack and stroke
Yes.
with hawthorn ginkgo biloba and cayenne pepper.
Our heart-healthy trio.
Working together to strengthen the heart,
Right.
improve blood flow to the brain, and clear out those arteries,
That was a really powerful combination.
especially when combined with a healthy lifestyle.
Right, it's all about that holistic approach. And then we discussed longevity and adaptogenic herbs,
Oh, yes.
like ginseng, reishi mushroom, and astragalus.
helping our bodies deal with stress and build resilience.
And it's so cool how these ancient remedies are now being backed up by modern science.
It really is full circle.
Then we touched on sexual health.
An important part of well-being.
Yes, with herbs like maca tribulus and horny goatweed.
Those names always make me chuckle,
Me too.
but they can be really effective.
Yeah. And finally, we wrapped up with immune support.
Very important as we head into cold and flu season.
Yeah, we talked about echinacea, elderberry, and astragalus.
All amazing for boosting our immune system.
And I think it's important to remember that these herbal remedies can be a much gentler and more natural approach than some of those conventional medications we often turn to,
Yeah, they work with your body, not against it.
and often have fewer side effects.
Exactly.
It's like tapping into the wisdom of nature.
Yeah, and allowing our bodies to heal in a more harmonious way.
Now I know what you're thinking.
What's that?
This all sounds amazing,
Right.
but where do I even begin?
Yeah, it can be a little overwhelming at first.
Right. There's so many herbs and so much information out there.
Exactly.
So what advice would you give to someone who's feeling inspired but doesn't know where to start?
Well, I think a good place to start is by identifying one or two herbs that really stand out to you,
Okay.
that address your specific concerns. Maybe you're drawn to hawthorn for heart health or ashwagandha if you're dealing with a lot of stress.
Yeah.
Start there, do your research, and see how those herbs could fit into your life.
Yeah. And I think reading reviews from other users can be really helpful
Oh, yeah, that's a good point.
because you can kind of get a sense of, how other people have experienced those herbs and what benefits they've noticed. That's true. And I also think it's important to find good sources of information.
Yes, definitely.
There's a lot of misinformation out there.
Oh, for sure.
So make sure you're sticking to trusted websites, books, experts.
Absolutely. And, don't be afraid to reach out to a qualified healthcare professional as well.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Especially if you have any underlying health conditions or are taking medications.
Yeah.
An herbalist or a naturopathic doctor can be a great resource.
Yeah, they can provide personalized guidance and make sure that the herbs you choose are safe and appropriate for you.
Exactly, because herbs are powerful.
Yeah.
And it's important to, treat them with respect.
It's easy to think, oh, it's natural, it can't hurt,
Right.
but that's not always the case.
Not always. You definitely want to be mindful and do your research.
Exactly. And once you've done your research and maybe talk to your doctor, don't be afraid to experiment a little.
Yeah, see how your body responds.
Right. Pay attention to how you're feeling.
What changes you're noticing and adjust your approach as needed.
And remember, it's a process.
Yes.
Don't get discouraged if you don't see results immediately.
Right. It takes time.
Herbal medicine is often very gentle and subtle,
It's a journey.
and it may take some time to really notice those benefits.
That's true.
Well, I think we've given our listener a lot to think about today.
Yeah, a lot of great information to digest.
It's been a really amazing journey through nature's pharmacy. I'm so inspired by all these incredible herbs and their potential to really transform our health.
Me too. It's so exciting to think about all the possibilities.
If you're feeling inspired to incorporate some of these ancient remedies into your life, remember to start slowly. Do your research.
Yeah.
Seek professional guidance if needed.
Always good to be safe.
And most importantly, listen to your body.
That's right. Your body will tell you what it needs.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much for joining us on this deep dive into the world of herbal remedies. Until next time, stay curious, keep learning,
Yes.
and embrace the power of nature.